This is the shape parenting model called lesson number 3. In this lesson, we will narrow down to an individual. We will look at the parent and the child separately. Ideally, life begins on the single. It is the foundation on which the rest of someone's life is built. So when we look at the parent-child relationship, we have the parent and we have the child. Before we talk of the parent-child relationship, we have to factor the relationship the parent has with herself, with himself. Is a constant engagement that doesn't invite the public. Is continuous conversation a parent is always having with himself or herself and doesn't really invite the public. It is the environment, is the atmosphere inside this parent that determines how he or shows up when it comes to the parent-child relationship. So in this lesson, we'll look at this individual called parent. Now they are coming into parenting with experiences, with memories, with scripts, with life patterns, with programming, which should be expected to be positive and to be influential in creating a close, deeper, and intimate relationship with a child. But that is not usually the case. That's why when we look at a parent individually, we will discover a number of things that will either inform us whether is this parent ready for parenting or they need something else. Because the damage that has been done time and again is the imagination that being a parent is just giving birth to a child. You see, life has the biological aspect, emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical aspect. When it comes to parenting, also, there are a number of factors that come into play to make you an effective parent or an ineffective one. So, when you look at a parent, what do they bring onto the table of the parenting relationship? So, for example, we look at the self concept. The self concept is the image we have of ourselves. So, what image does the parent have of himself or herself? It is influenced by many forces, including our interactions with important people in our lives, mostly our parents. So, this parent today, what was or, or her relationship with the parents? How did it impact her emotional, mental, and spiritual essence and presence? Did it inhibit? Did it affirm? Did it encourage? Did it celebrate? It is how we perceive our behaviors, abilities, and unique characteristics. So this parent here, how does she or he perceive her abilities, her characteristics? Does she think she's worth? Does she think she is valuable? Does she think she's significant? Does she think she's important? Because all these will come into play when the parent wants to relate with the child. For example, does the parent believe I'm a good person? I'm a kind person? Does the parent believe she's enough? She's complete? Or she comes in with a sense of inadequacy, a sense of scarcity? So that is really what we're talking about. And talking of self-concept, according to Rogers, a psychologist, Carl Rogers, he believed that uh, every individual has three different parts of self. Number one is ideal self. This ideal self is the person you want to be. This is the person, this person has the attributes or qualities you are either working toward or want to possess. It is who you envision yourself to be if you're exactly as you wanted. So this parent has an ideal self. They are where they are presently, but these a version of themselves they aspire to become or to see. They want to be. So if you look at this individual we are calling the parent, what is his or her ideal self? What does he project himself or herself becoming? What does she or he think he is capable of becoming in the near future? You know, what qualities, what attributes does he or she think she will have if she becomes the person she wants to become? Then another part of self is self-image. And self-image refers to how you see yourself at this moment in time. Attributes like physical characteristics, personality traits, and social roles all play a role in your self-image. So what self-image does this parent have? Okay, how does she see herself in her attributes or himself in his attributes? What are his or her personality traits? What is her personality? Is she an extrovert? Is she an introvert? Or is he or an introvert or extrovert? What does he or she think is her social role? Alright. So that forms self-image. So what is your self-image as a parent? Because it will come into play when you start parenting. And parenting is not isolated. It flows from who you truly are as an individual. Lastly, the other third part of self is self-esteem. This is how much you like, accept, or value yourself, all contribute to your self-concept. So how do you like? Do you like yourself? Do you accept who you are? When you look at your body, do you like your body? When you look at your way of conversation or relating, do you like yourself? Do you accept, do you value yourself? You know, um, and we'll discover that self-esteem can be affected by many factors, including how others see you, how you think, how you compare yourself to others, and your role in society. So, for example, this parent, if you look at his or her relationship with his or her parents, what was it like? Was she made to feel worthy? Was she made to feel significant and valuable? Or she was deprived of that? Because that forms self-esteem. If your parent never saw good in you, or never praised or found you, definitely you have a sense of inadequacy. You have a sense of like, I think I lack something. So all these form self-concept, and this is basically the individual we're talking about. So before we talk of parenting, we talk of this parent. What is she bringing? The social programming, the emotional programming, the mental programming, the spiritual programming, and the physical programming. Because all these factors they come into play. They affect the quality and the kind of relationship the parent will have with the child. If the parent has a positive self-concept, definitely it will influence the way he or she interacts with the child. So in this second lesson or third lesson, sorry, we focus on the individual, and I believe you can do that introspection and evaluation of yourself. Do you really feel you bring onto the table an individual that is ready for a parent-child relationship? My name is Coach Martin. I thank you for watching and listening.